So first,
Absolutely.
and I was
Let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar. Yes.
And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is Also Podcast. We have a very special episode. Before we get into it, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Patreon. All the links are in our description. And please be sure to rate, review, subscribe.
I'm so excited because one of my favorite reality TV creators is with us today. He has over 90,000 followers on TikTok, and he hits all the nuances of reality TV so perfectly while standing 10 toes down for our girlies on Bravo, which they don't need as much help, but we're here to defend them always. So welcome to the podcast, Josh.
Thank you for having me. Always writing for the girls. That's what I'm here for.
Absolutely. I love following you because your Sierra conversation with Sierra supporting Vanita really recently. Alicia is a big fan of Lindsay and has always stood 10 toes down. I've come around slowly. My issue with Lindsay is that she is me and I am her and I can't handle it.
Real.
Well, I wanted to start off with getting a little history from you because I find it so fascinating where reality TV has come in the many years that it's been around on TV and kind of how it's progressed. So I wanted to know where your journey started with this genre.
Do the words total divas mean anything to either of you?
Yes.
Okay, thank God.
Yes.
So that's where I started because I was a big wrestling fan growing up, which is
Okay.
the straightest thing about me. I don't know. Well, it's not really because it was worshiping the girls, which was not straight at all, actually. But at the time, it seemed like it was.
Yeah.
And
You
so
were just
when
cosplaying. You're like,
Yeah.
no, I care about the sport.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there eventually I did to a certain extent, but it was for the girls. And yeah, so when Total Divas started, that was big for me because I loved the Bella Twins, and then I grew to love them even more. They're still some of my favorite famous people to ever exist. I love them so much. And that show was just so good. It hasn't aged incredibly well. When I watch it back now, I'm like, okay, this is so manufactured, and it doesn't even really feel like a reality show to me now. It feels like a scripted show. But at the time, it was revolutionary to me, and it was kind of my introduction to the genre.
I wasn't into wrestling, but I remember seeing it on E and I loved it. And I loved the Total Divas into Total Bellas and that they would happen off season from each other. So you got the Bella Twins basically year round.
Year round, yeah. Incredible. That's what I always need.
Yes. Did you watch Traitors with Nikki on it then?
Yeah, and I was sad because I feel like that was such a difficult time in her life, and I think she would have been more present if her personal life was not as in shambles as it was at that time.
Definitely.
Her show
I know
really
her
screwed her.
But she was going through a divorce at the time, and I felt like that was sad because the end of Total Bellas, or I guess not the end, but one of the ends of one of the seasons was her riding off of Artem's motorcycle.
And I loved that moment so much, and now it's ruined forever. I actually just rewatched it recently, and I was like, oh, this is just sad now. But actually, probably the coolest thing that I ever got to do through TikTok and being a person online was when Traitors came out. I got to go to this press day that they did, and I got to do an interview with Nikki, and she's my favorite person to ever exist. So that was just the biggest full circle coolest moment for me, and she is such a perfect angel. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh, was she as great in person as? Because I feel that could be a letdown sometimes.
Yeah, I had met her before in a fan capacity, and she was amazing in both contexts. I mean, she was so great, so easy to talk to. She was giving me tea that she probably shouldn't have been giving me, but it was great. I loved it.
Love that.
Because this was shortly after all the Artem stuff was playing out in the press, and I felt really bad for her with that situation because I feel like Artem was constantly leaking stuff to the press, and she was trying to protect her child and not really saying anything publicly. And I kind of dumped on her my thoughts on the situation, and she validated them, which maybe was invasive of me, but it's fine. She didn't seem bothered.
No,
I think she appreciated.
The girlies.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so then you didn't start with Bravo. I know E is kind of a sister network, but how was your intro into Bravo then?
It was so late. It's actually so embarrassing, and I feel so ashamed sometimes.
Everybody has their journey. Everybody has their journey.
Mine was late. Mine was a little late too, so don't worry about it.
Okay, so I didn't touch Bravo really until 2021 probably.
Okay.
And that I started with Roni. That was my entry because I had just moved to the city. I'm from Long Island, so I was always in the vicinity of New York, but I moved to the city and me and my ex watched it together, and it was just the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And then shortly after that, I was posting about it on the internet. Well, I guess it took a year, but not that long.
I love that. So you watched it all the way through with the OGs?
Roni was the first one I did, and then I think I did Potomac, and then maybe Atlanta, and then Beverly Hills, and then I just did all of them. Then Vanderpump Rules was around that time as well, and that changed the trajectory of my life forever. That's like my favorite show. Roni and Vanderpump are like my two that just
you have to have like
everything.
a real housewife and a non-housewife. Like
exactly.
I always say, like there's two anchor shows for Bravo people.
Yes, absolutely. And Vanderpump is just so good.
Also, adding on, it's interesting you went from Roni to Potomac because we talk a lot. People will ask us like their order to get into Housewives, and we've never put Potomac that high, although I think it should be.
I don't know why it was that high for me. Like, I don't remember why I made that decision, but I'm so glad that I did because I love Potomac so much. Candace is one of my favorite people ever on reality TV. I'm so excited for her on Traitors.
Same. I love her. And I feel like that's a hot take sometimes. Like, you either love or you hate Candace.
I've done a couple videos where I just say like my favorite person on each of the shows, and like that's one of the ones that people will be like, I like all of these people except Candace. What are you talking about? That's one of them. Kenya, obviously not on Atlanta anymore, but she was always one of those. And Margaret, I get a lot of shit for loving Margaret in New Jersey.
Love Marge.
We're Margaret fans.
Yeah. No, she's perfect. How could you not?
I think people forget that like it's a show and you need the people to stir up some drama.
Exactly.
You need those like meddlers and you need a little friction with a group. Like that's what I want to watch. I don't want to watch everybody holding hands and getting along.
Exactly. But her and Margaret and Candace, I feel less this about Kenya because I just don't know how she is in real life. But Margaret and Candace, I feel like it's clear at least that like in normal contexts, I feel like they probably behave well. But for the show, they're doing what they need to do. Like, I don't think Candace is like screaming at people on a daily basis. She actually seems very lovely in real life.
Side story. Went on a date with a guy who went to school with Candace. It's the only reason I went on for the date for as long as I did. But he was like, no, she's the most amazing person. I was like, I just knew it.
No, I've heard very positive things about her. That makes me happy to hear that.
So now that you've kind of made your way through the Bravo universe, and Alicia said, like, we have recommended Housewives franchises in a certain order, what is your order that you would tell people to watch in?
Well, it's hard now because I like want people to get invested. Roni is always going to be my recommendation because I just think it's a perfect piece of media. Like there's never going to be anything like it again. But it's hard to recommend because I'm like, then they're going to get to the present day and just be sad. So recently I've started to say maybe watch Salt Lake City because that's just still in such a high moment that like,
I put that higher up than my like favorites list because I think it's easier to get people indulged
and it's shorter,
in like
So that's definitely up there, but I still say Roni. I also have always recommended OC, even though it's so many seasons and it's such an investment, but it's
you gotta
like,
know your
worth
history.
It.
So good.
I think the best seasons of OC are like as good as anything ever, but then
Agreed.
there are a lot of floppy seasons you have to get through, but like when it's great, it's like amazing, top tier,
incredible.
never seen anything like it before.
Yeah, I always tell people with OC because there's so much and there's like so many transitions of like the versions of it. You have to like tap in and tap out. Like watch a few seasons, go to another franchise, watch a few seasons, come back around.
Yeah. Are you guys Heather Dubrow people?
Yes.
Absolutely.
No questions
asked. She's perfect. Love her
She
so much.
is. I want
fancy
someone
pants.
unattainable. Like I want that on my screen. That's what Housewives kind of started as and really grew into, especially on the West Coast franchises.
Mm-hmm.
You know, love her so much. We have a lot of the same favorites. I love that.
No, I love that we're aligned.
That's why you're my favorite.
Really awkward. This would have been so awkward if you hated Heather Dubrow. We would have never recovered.
We always say for us that we have to overlap about 80% of the time. It's nice to disagree on some things, but like we could not maintain this podcast without having a lot of similarities and similar takes on things because
that makes sense. But that's why I always find it funny. I agree there though has to be some disagreement because sometimes people will get so mad at me in my comments if we have like one thing that we're not on the same page about, and I'm like, we have to keep things interesting somehow. Like we can't all agree about every single thing.
What are we supposed to just look at each other and go, yep, 100% agree?
Yeah. No, we need to tussle a little bit occasionally.
Yeah.
Our tussle was Lindsay Hubbard and Sheena Shea. Those are our two. The two
Wait,
will
who's
never.
the Sheena defender in the room?
Me,
Alicia.
always. I love Sheena. She's
I
too
just
good.
get it.
She's too good.
I want her on my screen, but I want to dislike her on my screen. Like
That's how I feel, yeah. No, I'm not going to say I'm sad that she's not going to be on the Valley, but if we have to get that other lady, I would much rather Sheena.
Yeah,
I don't name that woman.
Yes, of
I
course.
know. I love how you will not say her
no,
name.
God, no. It's been really hard because I've had to say it so my straight twin is watching Vanderpump right now. It's shocking, his opinions. Like, it's so
No,
obscene.
they're so funny.
Straight people.
Well,
I can't.
he at the beginning of the show, he was actually like feeling a little bit. We were more aligned than I expected. He liked Katie in the first couple seasons.
Oh,
I
that's
will give
kind
a
of a
hot
hot
take.
take.
Which was a hot take in those early seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but okay, exclusive scoop for right here, because I'm not letting him make videos with me about it, because I'm like, you can't say that publicly or my followers
no.
will mob you. So he just finished season 10. He's in the Scandal reunion, and last night he had been at his girlfriend's house for like 2 days just watching all of season 10. He gets back and I'm like so ready to be like, oh my God, what do you think about Scandal? And he, I mean, obviously, like, was a little shook by it, but his main grievance from season 10 was with Katie and how mean she was about the Schwartz and Raquel
She could have
thing.
been meaner.
I said that. Yeah, I said to him last night, we're arguing about this, and I said she could have murdered everybody on the cast, and I would have
defended.
understood. Yeah.
Yes, I would have flown in the Calgary to like defend her both on the like public stand and on the internet.
No, she's never done anything wrong.
Don't
in
let
her
him say that
life,
on the
especially
internet.
that season. I was like, what are you talking about?
Say I could understand like early hatred of Katie because it was hard when we were watching it live in like season 3 and 4. It was like no one liked her, and I could see that. Rewatching it now, she's perfect, angel, never done anything wrong. But season 10, that's insane.
I was gagged because he kind of had the opposite. He liked her at the beginning, and I was like,
insane.
Okay, I'm glad you like her, sure, but now he hates her, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh, man.
I always say that people hated her in the early seasons because we watched it live, like when it was airing.
You're so
like we
lucky.
hated women, so like that was the take, is like we hated women, so we hated Katie. And it's like he's seeing it through the lens of like, okay, we don't villainize women as much as we did then, so that's great. He like caught on to her like amazingness so early, but oh no, she was built and bred for the Scandal moment. Like she had years and years and years of doing this when everybody hated her, so like this was her time to shine.
Yeah, I was so stunned by that being his. I'm like, you don't have to like her, sure, whatever. You finished that season and your main issue was with her. Like, I don't even know what to say to you. I don't know who you are. You should go to jail.
Agreed. Don't pass go, like straight to jail. Wait, so did you ask him to watch that, or how did he start doing that? Because those videos of him giving his takes are so funny, as with you being a like beloved like Bravo, not only like watcher, but then like content creator on it, and it's like being your straight twin is such a funny bit online for me.
So I like never thought that he would watch it. Like, I just like didn't even think that was like a thing that I could ask for. And then all of a sudden he started dating this new lady and she wanted him to watch Summer House and he was willing. I don't really know how she got him to do that, but that was his entry. He loved Summer House. He loves Vanderpump too. I think he likes I think Summer House is like a little bit more palatable to straight men.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But he's enjoyed both of them. I'm gonna get him to watch Southern Hospitality next, just because that's so short and like similar vibes to Vanderpump.
I'm so excited you brought up Southern Hospitality
because it's my favorite thing to talk about.
We know that you're friendly with the cast, and even better, you're gonna be like at least a party on this upcoming season because you were in that promo, which was iconic. Like, way
crazy.
To make the promo. How did you become friends with the cast? Was it just like the online relationship?
Yeah, if they're really nice, like the ones who I guess I don't. I'm like, how do I say this in a way that
the ones you like are closer with?
Yeah, are very lovely people. I think last season there weren't that many people covering the show in the Bravo world, which is sad, and more people need to tap in because it's an incredible show. They would see my content more than like I think a lot of the cast see my content, but they don't necessarily say it because I've been told things. Whatever. Anyway, the Southern Hospitality people, there are not that many people covering the show. They saw the videos that I was making about it, and some of them followed me. The first ones who I like really interacted with were like Molly, who came on last season, and TJ. And then I wanted to do a Charleston trip, and I reached out to Molly. I had just like chatted a little bit with her, like being like, love you on the show, whatever. And then I was like, I want to come to Charleston, asking for recommendations. It happened to be the case that the weekend I was going, I didn't even know that this was going to be the case, was when their reunion was airing for last season. This was, I want to say, March. And so they were doing like a watch party for the reunion and at Lamar's. And so I went to that. I don't remember which of them. I think it was Molly who invited me to that. Or it was just like, this is happening if you want to come. So I went to that, and it was kind of like, I love going to things alone. This is like kind of weird to say, but
we are those people who can just make friends anywhere.
Yeah, and like people like kind of feel bad for you because you're alone. So it's like, and I'm like, I'm in a new city. I don't know anybody. And so
you have nothing to lose too when you're in a different city.
Exactly. The people who were at that was Molly, Lake, Michaels, TJ, Brad, Mia, basically everybody except like Joe, Maddie, Emmy. I feel like those were the only ones, and Will, obviously. No, we don't talk about him.
Will's not on the show anymore. We can't.
People say that I look like him, and it's consistently the most offensive thing that I get told. And I actually, this is so bad.
You should sue.
I agree. But when I met Emmy, I don't know what came over me, but I like said that to her. And I was like, that's actually so fucking rude that I just said that to this lady.
You said that you were offended too?
Yeah, like I was saying. I wasn't trying to say
I love you so much.
I was just kind of like dumping on her because it was like the weirdest, like we had the longest interaction.
You're like, let's bond over how I don't want to look like your fiance.
Yeah, and then I was like, I'm so sorry. Like that was so wrong of me to say to you. Whatever, it's fine. Everybody on the cast has been lovely from my experience, especially like those. I love the girls and the gays, and Joe Bradley has actually been very nice to me in my interactions. Maddie was very nice to me. No one has not been very nice to me. Emmy, I had that strange interaction with, but she was trying.
If she hates you, it's your own fault at this point.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm gonna be messy, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Yes, do it.
So she acted like she had no idea who I was, and that's fine. I don't expect you to, but she's commented on my videos before, and like this was at the filmed event. This was at the Sir Wiener's anniversary party that you're gonna see on the show.
Yeah.
And I had such a long interaction with her, and she's acting like she has no idea who I am. And like, I'm truly don't mean that in a way of like being self-important and being like, yeah, she definitely does. But like, you've argued with people.
It's you calling out the reverse of it. Yeah.
And then people said, not anybody on the show, but people who have met her before said to me like she would not have talked to you that long if she didn't know who you were. Like, she's not that nice. And I was like, okay.
You know what? I feel that vibe from her. I am messy, Josh, so apologies, but Southern Hospitality is a vibe for us. We didn't watch it originally. I watched it in an airport because I was bored and it was on. And then I texted Meredith and was like, this is the greatest show I've ever seen. You must watch it. However, I always say these people, I don't know how to take them because they're great on TV. I don't know if I want them in my vicinity. I've never met them. I've never talked to them. I don't know if it would be too much. I don't know if they'd be good friends. I just don't get the good vibes of like friendship. But now you're telling me otherwise. So now I feel like
they've all been very lovely to me because my sense is, yes, they are very messy with each other.
Okay.
Otherwise, like all of the ones that they all have like very strong friends. Like kind of with Vanderpump, I feel like is an example where like a lot of the people on that show didn't really seem to have that many strong friendships outside of the cast.
So true.
And they're all just like kind of, obviously the like hangers on around the cast as well. But like a lot of them, it felt like that was their entire world. That is not really the case with the hospitality people.
Oh, okay.
I've met a lot of their like external friends and they're all like very normal and lovely people. So I think they kind of contain the messiness to within that group. And yes, they're all horrible to each other. But I get the vibe that they are all like actually generally good people.
You know what? They show up and do their job. They know that they need to turn on each other for the show, and I'm okay with that. But it is hard to get a read on them because I compare it to Vanderpump, and it's like different vibes, but similar.
It's such different vibes, but I think that that's what I like so much about it. It doesn't feel like they're trying to recreate anything. They also so many of these relationships are so like long, like years prior to the show, and I think that that's also why like it makes sense that they're like a little bit evil to each other. Like they've known each other for way too long. And Charleston is such a small city. They're coworkers.
And they're like in their early 20s, right? So like that's the time to be messy. Alicia, we're
always hate your coworkers in your early 20s.
Hey, I was your coworker in our early 20s.
Wait, where were we working together? I'm so jealous.
We were in like a corporate company. Yeah,
that's how this started.
Tiny. It was a tiny company. We literally started this podcast because we stopped working together.
Oh, that's so
and
sweet.
we missed gossiping.
I love that.
We used to take over our office lunch table and everybody could hear our conversations about reality TV to the point where they asked us to start a podcast so we would go into a conference room and stop bugging them.
I love that so much. One of the only things that I miss about my job before I departed, it was we had like a Bravo Slack channel, and like most of the company was locked in. Like it was all girls and gays, so it was pretty
jealous
much
of
everybody.
that. We didn't have enough of that. It was a lot of guys and a decent amount that were like older than us. Yeah.
But
they enjoyed our conversation. They loved it. They just
you were
wouldn't
the
say out
entertainment
loud.
of the office.
Personality hires. We know.
Yep. Wait, so speaking of your like entry into content creation, what was the moment that really sparked you to kind of like start posting online? And then what was the moment that like it really became more of a, I'll say, career for you?
So I always was like annoying on the internet. Like that's just like very core to me, I think. Like I was posting like YouTube covers in like 2011 when I had no business to be singing. They're long wiped from the internet. Don't even try to look.
Damn it.
But like it was just like always the vibe. This is way too exposing myself, but in the like early Total Divas era, I had like a wrestling Instagram fan account that had like a few thousand. So like I just always posted on the internet and was really annoying. And then I never was like into TikTok. Like I didn't download TikTok until way too late. I wish I did earlier, but once I did, I was like, if other people are like doing this, why can't I? So I started posting, and I kind of just tested out a few different things. If you actually scroll down far enough on my profile, you can see me making like how much money I made in my serving shift videos, which is like so cringe, but I was so skinny when I was serving. I'm like, oh my god. But
have to keep them.
Yeah, I tried out a few different things. Tried to do like political content at one point because that's like what I was working in. That is also long gone from the internet. When I was in my like peak like Bernie bro era in 2020, being so insufferable online. And then I was like, okay, none of this is working. And I just kind of tested out things until the algorithm was nice to me. And that's like always what I tell people. Like people love like brand, like coming up with branding and coming up with all these things before they even start posting. And I'm like, you don't know what the algorithm is going to listen to. So like, why are you doing all that?
True.
Like just test out a few different things. So that's what I did. And I posted like I think it was like December 2022. I posted a video of like around Christmas time of my wish list for Bravo for 2023, I guess is what it was. And it like only got a few 100,000 views, but it did well enough that I was like, okay, this is something that the algorithm is actually listening to. I'm going to keep posting about this. So I did. Career aspect didn't really hit until like, it was Vanderpump season 11. That's like when I really blew up on TikTok because I was defending Katie and Ariana hardcore.
Really? I feel like we've been following you way before that. So maybe
I was posting before that, but that's like when I locked in. I was posting during Scandal. I posted a bit, but that season is when I gained a lot of and hit and crossed the like 10,000 follower mark because I was going so hard against Sheena, going so hard against that other lady, and going so hard in defense of That was a tough season for Sheena.
That was a rightful I hate Sheena season.
I get it.
I actually like was tickled by Sheena, even though she was being evil. Like I was always like, she's good TV, even though she's like the spawn of Satan. And it was funny when I met her and had a really bad interaction, but it's fine.
Really? I've never met her, so I can't say, but I can only imagine.
But yeah, that season was kind of when things blew up and I started making money off of it. And then I was like, okay, I'm obviously going to continue doing this. Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk about my Sheena interaction? Because it's kind of funny.
Yes, please.
Okay. So I got invited to her book tour a few months ago, August, July.
Yeah, it was around August.
I don't perceive her to be somebody who's like on TikTok. Like that's not really the vibe I get from her. I feel like she has people, well, I kind of get confirmed that that's the case. She has people who do it for her. So I got invited to the book event and they were like, there's going to be a meet and greet. And I had this like internal struggle, which I always do. I had the same internal struggle when I was like, do I say hi to Emmy from Southern Hospitality of like, I have said bad things about this person on the internet. I don't want to put them in an uncomfortable position. I always feel bad when I say bad things about people, but I was like, I don't think Sheena has seen my videos. She's never like tussled with me in the comments. Like, I don't really get the vibe that that's her thing. So I was like, I'm going to meet Sheena. I don't care. I brought a friend with me because I got a +1 and she really wanted to go to meet her. So I was like, okay, let's do it. I go up. I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to be like, pretend to be just like I am a
normal
person. I'm not pretending. I am. And then my friend was like, oh, like he has a big like Bravo TikTok account. And I was like, oh my God, you bitch.
Your friend outed you.
And then, okay, so picture this. It's the three of us are standing here. And then at a table next to where we're standing is Sheena's mom and sister. I believe it was the sister. I never know what her sister looks like because she doesn't look like Sheena, but I think it was her sister. And all of a sudden, Sheena's mom or sister, one of the two, are like, oh, what's his TikTok to my friend? And she like says it, and then they're like searching right in front of me and all of this. And this was right after the news had broke about the Brock cheating thing, which I went pretty hard at her for, being like, you said all this stuff about Katie and Ariana
So
not
you're
being
like, first
authentic.
video.
Like, it was like top row was like heavily talking shit about the woman. And so I was like, oh my god, this is really bad. So I'm like, I need to speed this interaction up. Like, we need to get out of here before something bad happens. Before they could even see any of the videos, Sheena's mom reads, I guess because it like showed on the profile. I actually don't know if it was on Instagram or TikTok, but whatever it was, it like showed on the profile that Katie follows me. And she was like, oh, followed by Katie Maloney. And then Sheena like looks at me and I was like, yeah, like
my
kind of
God.
a Katie stan. Like, and then I like felt like I needed to like I always think it's better to like admit that you've talked bad about somebody than to, in like not in like a like I hate you way, but in a way of just like
you've been harsh.
I was like, I love Katie. Like, I've not always been on your side in situations that you've had with her, and I post about that. Whatever, thinking that would disarm. And she was very normal about it. Sheena was actually fine, but it was just so awkward to have her mom and sister like looking at my profile.
That's my nightmare.
Right there. It was really scary. And then I was like, I didn't actually care, but to my friend, I'm like, I can't believe you did that to me, you bitch.
Yeah, that's on your friend.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything, and she actually she was kind of like apologetic about the Ariana stuff at that book event. Like, she took some level of accountability for it, talking about how she was like projecting her own feelings about wanting to forgive Brock. She talks about that in some other interviews, but I was like actually like feeling okay about how she did at that event, and I was like, okay, maybe I don't need to despise this lady. And then that interaction, and she was honestly, the interaction made me feel less negatively about her because she handled that really well. Having somebody in front of you who's being like, I've talked shit about you extensively on the internet, like that's a really awkward thing, and she navigated it well.
Good for Sheena.
I feel like everyone talks shit about Sheena, so she's kind of probably used to it.
That's so true.
Yeah, who hasn't at one point?
But she's also very good at owning it and being like, yeah, well, villain number one.
I said, I would much rather have her on the Valley than the other woman or Schwartz or half that cast, honestly.
Over any other man, honestly. Put Sheena on there.
Of course.
I've heard that she's the one who like declined it. Do you believe that?
I actually do. I don't know if I should, but I like take people's word for things. Not everyone, like the Utah lady, I wouldn't. But like with Sheena, I feel like I can trust her word generally about things like that. Especially because like Alex Baskin going on the podcast with her, I'm like, he has no incentive to do that if this wasn't true. And everyone was like, she's lying. And why should we trust him? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. But like, it felt like, I don't think Bravo would have been, regardless of Alex Baskin's personal character, which I'm not going to act like I know him personally, but I've complained about him publicly. But I don't think Bravo would let an executive producer who works on one of their shows go on a podcast to lie about like a contract situation. Like, that feels, I don't know why they would be okay with that. That feels like something that, especially because Bravo doesn't
their podcast too. Like, they could cut that if it was like, if it was a lie.
And Bravo doesn't really like contract stuff being talked about generally. So I was like, I don't think that this would be happening if it wasn't true. I don't know. I don't really know that I believe her reasons. I think maybe there was something else, but I believe her generally.
Yeah.
And same with the Brock cheating stuff. I don't know why she would have lied about that. Like, that's so embarrassing.
I don't think she's lying about that. This is so Sheena. Like, the way this all went down is so Sheena. So like, I believe her.
Yeah, and most of the people in my comments didn't. I was like, I wasn't really arguing with people because I'm like, y'all can think what you want, that's your business. But I was like, why would she? This is so embarrassing on so many levels to still be with that man when you're admitting this. Like, why would she do that? And I don't know. She doesn't. It's not like she like hates men. Like, she's obsessed with men. She loves male validation. So I'm like, why? It doesn't make sense to me why she would lie.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Like, are there any shows that you like only want to watch and not cover online that like you kind of like keep just for yourself, or do you tend to like cover everything you watch?
It's been difficult because I feel like I used to keep things for myself. I've never been good at work-life balance, and obviously I'm very lucky to have this be my work now, but even in this, there is kind of like a tension of like, I do now have a really difficult time consuming media that I can't monetize talking about. I'm trying to be better about it, But now I'm like kind of dabbling a little bit more in scripted TV. I have my Shane Hollander shirt on right now.
We are so
I'm so glad you brought this up, because you did get into scripted TV, because I have been obsessed with your Heated Rivalry takes.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was gonna do well, but I was like, I'm gonna talk about it anyway, and then it did really well, and I was like, okay, great, maybe I need to go outside of reality a little bit more. I covered White Lotus when it was on. I covered like The Summer I Turned Pretty a little bit. I'm gonna do Tell Me Lies when that new season comes out. I'm watching it now.
Not prepared.
I'm like, I think I have like an episode and a half left of season 2, so I have plenty of time to catch up before the new season, but I'll be doing that. Yeah. But I've had a lot of difficulty with like reading, because that's not something that I really feel like would translate. So I haven't really read other than like reality TV memoirs, which I know y'all are locked in on too. Like,
oh yeah,
I haven't really
Those
read
are the
anything
funniest
this
things
year.
I've ever experienced, or the audio, like the audiobook of the memoirs. They're too much. People are too campy in them.
No, I love it. But yeah, I wouldn't say I really am keeping anything to myself now. But I will, since we were talking about it, I don't really know how I'm going to cover Southern Hospitality. I will, but I'm like, not that I like care about, I guess it's just like, I feel like, I don't know. I would like to think I can be unbiased, but I don't really know that I can, because there are people on that cast that I like genuinely really do appreciate as humans. And I already was kind of biased. Like, I already am very protective of TJ, just because I see a lot of the way that I navigate situations in the way that he does, and I already was like way more defensive of him than most people are, but now I have interacted with him and he is very lovely. So and Brad I love so much, like Mia I love so much, Molly. So I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of like the people that I liked on the show, I've just been like doubled down in liking them. The people, Joe Bradley is somebody who I didn't really care for on the show, and now that I've met him, I feel a little bit more positively about him, but I'll still probably be pretty harsh towards him if he's like being unpleasant on the show.
No, it is really hard, even if you just meet the people once. Like, I went to a Winter House meet and greet, and I met Austin from Southern Charm, and I've never enjoyed him on the show, but he was so nice in person that I feel bad sometimes being like, I hate him, because then I'm like, I hate him, but like, he's nice and he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
So it gets hard.
It is. I had an interaction with West in between not before the last season of Summer House, so before he even had his redemption. He like came up to me at an event and was like, oh my God, you're on my For You page all the time. And he was like so nice, and I've met him a few times now. He's like very lovely. But that was the thing where I was like, I would like to think I can still be mean to this man on the internet, but like, I don't. And if he did something really bad, I'm sure I would. But I'm like, now it's just like a little bit in my head that like he's like a nice person.
He's good at like taking criticism. Like we've had some discussions in the DMs where he has yelled at me for something I did, and I was like, okay, you interpreted that slightly incorrectly. He thought I tagged Carl in something, and during the Carl, his brother's anniversary, like saying like men suck, and I was like, no, I specifically didn't tag Carl this week and like shade him. But he's like good at like conversing about it. But plus I think Wes gets the like there's an online and a like TV show version of him and a personal version of him, and I try to take that with every person on reality TV. Is like, we are not seeing all of their life. Like, I'm purely critiquing you on what I'm seeing, and I'm like ready, willing, and able to change my mind if I ever were to meet you and interact with you in person.
But we do have a problem with Wes, and the problem is we love him no matter what he does, and we don't want to, but we think we could like grab a beer with him. I have a huge crush on him. It's hard to hate him.
That's the thing. So I know he's great in real life. Like that's what pisses me off.
I know.
No, it's really hard. It's funny, like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I hate like so many of the men so deeply that when there's one like him that is just like, yeah, he like kind of does stupid stuff occasionally, but he's like generally inoffensive. And I also think his like politics make it a lot easier to like him because he's one of the few people on the network who are outspoken about that. Same for Brad on Summer Hospitality. He has posted about politics a decent amount. He's
amazing
on the right side of not the right side,
the correct side,
the correct side of things. Let's be so clear.
Let's get that accurate on the record. He is on the correct side.
No, we have that too, where we'll be like, we hate this person, but we align with their politics, so I guess we can't hate them that much.
It's hard.
Just there's nuances in every relationship, including like reality TV. So it's like, I hate what you did there, but like, I'm sure you're like,
love
fine.
You so much.
And, like,
You know,
I feel like we go that way with Carl Radke on Summer House a lot. Is like, Carl drives us nuts all the time, but I'm like, okay, you're not like a terrible person.
No, and it was funny when me and my friend went to soft bar on the first day, and we were both like hardcore Lindsay defenders in the Lindsay Carl split. And now in retrospect, I'm like, maybe I was a little mean to the man, but I was very defensive of Lindsay. And so was my friend who I went to soft bar with on opening day. And we're like, we hate Carl. He's the worst. And then we like go, and he was like so nice to both of us. Like he, like literally perfect angel, like spent so much time with, and he had no idea who I was. He did not. I ended up doing an interview with him at the end. So he like learned who I was. But in the initial interaction, I was just a person to him, and he was giving the same level of attention to everybody who was there. And it makes it hard, but yeah, was very pro Lindsay.
I'm sweating because I'm so pro Lindsay and I have to make it out to soft bar. I live in Brooklyn, so I like have to make it out to Greenpoint, but I'm a little nervous. I don't want to like it, but I know I'm gonna because Carl's not that bad. I'll go. I'll do it.
Is there a show that you are like fighting for more people to watch? I know Southern Hospitality is kind of one of them, but anything you're like, people are missing out on this?
I guess, yeah, Southern Hospitality would be the main one. I feel like I've been kind of defensive of the new Vanderpump, being like, just give it a chance. Not because it's like
I've been doing that to Alicia even.
Oh, okay.
She's forced to watch it.
That's funny. I don't know if it's going to be good. I haven't like loved any of the episodes, but I'm kind of like, I think it's not the cast's fault that the way that the handling of the last season was. I think
that's a good point.
Like this cast, I don't think it's fair to hold it against them. They are doing so far a fine job, I think, and I just feel bad that it feels like no one is really giving them a chance. Even like the Bravo, like none of the Bravo accounts are really posting about the show. It's like ghost town vibes. Yeah. When I post about it, my last video about it got like 7,000 views, which is like very, very low. And I was like, damn, nobody's watching this show.
No, people kind of are, but not a lot. And it's interesting because I have been telling everybody, don't let the Roni reboot like that stench also hang over it, because this is the best cast that they could have put forward on a reboot. Like the dynamics are there, the long-standing relationships, like it does have some legs to be able to be something great.
I think they harm themselves a little bit with the cousins. I think that was a misstep, because I think that just gives a lot of people fuel to be like, they're all it's so funny. I keep saying this in videos, but I'm just like, words have meanings, words have definitions, and the thing of like,
I commented that on one of your videos because it pisses me off.
They're all influencers. Most of the cast has like 4,000 followers. They are not influencers just because they post like aesthetic photos on Instagram. Every fucking person in LA does that. Like,
I was about to say, they live in LA.
Person who lives in West Hollywood that it does not have like an aesthetic Instagram. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Those people don't exist. And especially like, yes, the cousins was a mistake. Other than that, though, these are all like, and Angelica, I guess, is like a new person to that world. But for the most part, they are like real friends who have real dynamics with each other, at least for like a couple years. And I think that people like kind of like misremember how obviously the like relationships, like Tom and Katie had been together for a few years, Kristen and Tom had been together for a few years, but like a lot of those relationships in early Vanderpump were still like relatively new. Stassi was not old enough to have been friends with any of them for more than like a year or two. I think people remember it as like they all had been in each other's lives for forever, but that's not really the case.
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, with wrapping up our Bravo discussion, I need you to make a Bravo Mount Rushmore. So what are like 4 or 5 people that you would put on your Bravo Mount Rushmore if you had to pick? Okay,
are we doing like my favorites or like an objective Mount Rushmore?
It can be whatever you think. It's your monument.
Okay. I mean, I have my like core 4, which is probably very difficult to change, and it is like Katie Maloney, Ariana Madix, Paige DeSorbo, and Carol Radziwill. Very loyal to all
those 4 are great of them. Ones.
And I have a difficult time seeing that changing. I mean, Paige has gotten a lot of shit lately for like the Daphne of it all, but I'm like, whatever. She's perfect. Could never do anything wrong in her life. Am I buying every drop of Daphne? No, but I bought one.
Yeah, go for it.
And I just love her. I'm gonna do a post on the anniversary of her and that man's breakup, and I'm gonna do a post about that just because that was like a very big thing for me in terms of like, it is very fine and good and great to blow up your life, even if it feels scary. And I feel like I really followed in her footsteps. I'm so annoyed.
100%. Like, no, she really gave people. She gave a lot of people permission to do that. And I like, because it's different to see the Ariana of it where it happened to her, whereas Paige made the decision to do it.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I also just think like a woman in her 30s, it's like, don't break up with this man. You have to be with him. This is how you start your family. And she was like, it's not good enough for me. I'm going to leave.
Yeah, I don't want
The
it.
reaction on the internet to that breakup was one of the crazier things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my
We just talked
God.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we just did our like year in review, and it's like that dominated the entire year of 2025, which is crazy. It kept coming back around at different points when we had like gotten so far away from it.
Yeah. No, there's nothing scarier to me than the like misogynistic boy mom Bravo fans, and they wanted her dead, they wanted her head burned, whatever, all of the things.
Yeah. The scariest thing was
get
the
it.
women supporting that man.
And that was the
not-
same
It's okay
thing
to support
with-
him and like say that you like him more. It's that like she's a villain
Anti-her,
commentary.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the same people though with Ariana, and it was really funny to like see this happen, because it was only, I mean, season 11 was only like spring 2024, so it was only like a year-ish apart from when these two things were happening, and I literally like had people in my comments saying the craziest shit about Paige, and I was like, I remember you saying this about Ariana too, like I see it. It's the same exact people, and it was terrifying in both situations. But yeah, I kind of, once a woman gets like really mistreated by that section of the internet, it becomes very hard for me to not be like forever attached to them. And that's how I ended up spending the entire season of Dancing with the Stars being a Whitney Levitt stan, which I never really thought was going to be my journey.
I loved her on Dancing with the Stars.
No, she's perfect. I already liked her on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
I did too.
I don't know what that says about me, but I call her my comfort Republican. I don't know if she's actually a Republican, but if she is, she's my comfort Republican.
There were two confirmed liberals. I think Layla confirmed her and Miranda. And so I was like, I'll assume the rest, but
whatever. I can have one as a treat.
Yes, absolutely. I was voting for her weekly. Hell yeah.
No, I rode very hard for her. I would say if I was going to do a more objective Mount Rushmore, of course it would include like NeNe, Vicky, LVP, and probably Bethany would be that.
Ooh, okay.
I think LVP I have a lot of issues with and Bethany. Bethany has me blocked. I hate Bethany. She sucks so badly. Very proud to be blocked by that lady.
Yeah.
But as a housewife, I mean, incredible, top tier. I don't know how she did it. I was recently rewatching season 7 when it's like her. Where was it 8? Either season 7 or 8, but it's like when she's kind of going up against like Dorinda's gross dry cleaning man, and she's just so good. Like I kind of forgot how like explicitly she was calling him coked out all the time, but it was like so explicit, and I lived for it.
Okay, that's a good one. NeNe's a good one. I feel like she gets overlooked a lot too.
No, she has to be
there.
Yeah,
because the like relationship definitely deteriorated between like Bravo and NeNe.
But it's coming back.
I know. She better be on that Ultimate Girls Trip, like
I think she will.
Road trip
also,
thing.
The thing with her is though that like there are actually so many seasons where I find her completely insufferable. Like she's the seasons the two I feel like there's 2 reunions where she just like doesn't speak, and I'm like, you're actually one of the more insufferable people I've ever seen in my life. But she's such good TV that I don't even care.
She is.
I know.
She's so good. Her little quips. That's what I think makes or breaks like a Bravo
She's so
celeb.
quotable.
The quotes.
That's why I love Carol so much. Her confessionals. I the Carol stuff. People love to come for her in my comments, and there are some valid things to whatever. I don't want to get into it. I'm like,
we don't have to support it.
We don't know anything. God forbid she was in a photo.
Dying. Okay, anything else that you have been reading, watching, or listening to that you just have to yap about?
I mean, Heated Rivalry changed my life. I've not spoken about anything else in weeks.
Have you read the book?
So I just bought it yesterday. I found it at it was the McNally Jackson in Soho. They had that, and then they had a few of the other ones in the series.
Yeah.
I was trying to order it a couple weeks ago online, and I couldn't. So I found it yesterday, and I'm gonna dive in. I'm a little bit scared because I'm not really a romance reader. Like, that's not really my vibe. I mean,
welcome, Josh. You're gonna love it.
Well, yeah, I'm trying. I'm not really a reader, I guess I should say. I've read like a few Emily Henry books, and I enjoyed those enough. And then like some like whatever. I can't remember who it is. Like a knockoff Emily Henry book.
Yeah.
And those are like fine, but the gay ones will probably be better for me. I'm
These
excited
are great.
to dive into that.
Are you gonna read them in order, or are you gonna skip to the Heated Rivalry book?
I'm gonna just do the Heated Rivalry one for now, and then if I want to go back, I will. Because I was told that the first one's like not as well written, and she kind of gets better as the series progresses. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually stick with it. I'm really bad at reading. It's like a very serious issue for me. I used to be like a $25 a year person, and now it's like become like 3, and they're all like Heather Gay's memoir of the year, and then like 2 other random memoirs, whatever. I'm really trying. But yeah, Heated Rivalry was everything to me. I'm watching Tell Me Lies now. That isn't hitting as hard now that Heated Rivalry happened. Like, no media
They're
really
also
is.
such opposite ends of the spectrum. One makes you believe in love, and one is like, I never want to date again.
Exactly. I'm like, I can never speak to another human again in my life. But I'm very obsessed with like that genre of show that is just like I feel like it's like Grown Up Pretty Little Liars. It's in the same family to me as like Desperate Housewives, which is so important to me. Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder. In my head, they're all like the same genre, and that's really the only scripted TV I watch. Like, I don't watch anything other than that genre of show. If there's not like a million cunty ladies in it, like, I want nothing to do with it. What else am I watching? I mean, I'm so excited for Summer House to come back. I'm just like counting down the days for that.
Yeah.
Wait, do you think Amanda and Kyle are separated right now?
Like, no, unfortunately.
I don't think so either.
Like, the way that Amanda is moving on social media is making me think they're not, and I have a really hard time with it. I don't really say these things publicly. I try to, whatever, this is public, but if somebody
feels more intimate.
Separate from your page, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I love Amanda. I've always loved Amanda. And publicly, in terms of on my profile, I really do try to like be very graceful towards her and be like, you're doing amazing. When you're ready, we'll all be here waiting. In my private conversations, I'm like, girl, what the fuck? Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, I think the like making jokes about it online is what's really getting to me, because it's like, it feels like she's like, it's a very real concern and like wanting better for her that the fan, I get why in a position like that maybe you would feel some type of way about that. And Katie even disrespectfully talked about like how she was there where all the fans were saying similar things to her, and that it's like a weird thing, and you kind of like want to believe that your relationship is better than what the public is perceiving it to be. But to be at a point where you're kind of like making fun of people's concern, it was like, especially because with this, nobody really, I mean, we haven't seen it yet. The way it was presented in the trailer is that the thing about him sleeping at the fan's house, whatever, is something that she fully brought up on her own. So it's like, if you don't want people to tell you to get a divorce, why are you airing out your dirty laundry publicly? Like, it's like,
yeah,
I don't really understand her position.
Like, don't bring it to my table if you don't want me to discuss it.
Exactly. And it's just, he's so comically evil that it's just hard. And I really do still have empathy for her. I have argued with people in my comments who are like, she's an idiot, I don't feel bad for her anymore. Like, I really try to maintain my empathy as much as I can, but I would say I have a season left of it.
Well, you're gonna have 2 seasons because you have Summer House and then In the City. So 2 seasons of those.
2 seasons of maintaining my empathy, and then I'm not sure how
it gets hard. It's hard to maintain it when like for 10 seasons at this point we've been like, I don't know, girl, it's a little iffy on your relationship. But
it's just so, even like my straight twin, so he watched Summer House first and now he's watching Vanderpump, and even he will admit that like he says like Kyle to him is much worse than Schwartz was. I don't know if I agree. I think Schwartz is like very evil in a variety of ways.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the fact that even a straight man can see how evil Kyle is and Amanda
Kyle has
is
more
troubling
like
to me.
power than like Schwartz had. So like Kyle's impact can sometimes be greater than like Schwartz's. Schwartz was like a constant level, whereas like Kyle is these like really highs and lows with Amanda. Like, the freaking out about her doing a swim line is crazy when they have like all the privilege, all the time, all the money in the world, basically.
I'll never get over that. That scene replays in my head constantly. I'll never stop being mad at him for it.
I don't know how it doesn't replay in hers. I know she didn't like see him in her own like day-to-day life have that tantrum outside, but once you watch that on TV, I would never be able to look at my husband again.
No, absolutely not. He's one of the few people who I will not go up to when I see him at things. Like, I have no interest. Even because Carl, like, I had said bad things about with the like Lindsay breakup, but in general, like, I don't like despise Carl. Kyle, I have no interest in having a conversation with. I'm sure he would be pleasant. I'm sure it would be a fine interaction.
Nope. I met him and it wasn't that great.
Oh,
and I'll say it. He was very dismissive. Where like the rest of the cast was very like, welcoming. They chatted a little bit. Kyle was very like, the next person can come
Okay,
take a
good.
picture with
I mean,
me.
I'm glad to hear
I was
that.
like, great.
I have no interaction.
Like
I have
even
no interest
Paige
in having
showed up
interaction.
late and she was like meeting everyone. She talked and like chatted with me for 3 minutes and I was like, oh my God, this is the highlight. No, Kyle, there was no one else in line. And he was like, all right, see ya.
Wait, can I ask where this was?
Yeah, it was in I think it was like in Soho or East Village back when the first episode or the first season of Winter House was happening. They had like a hot chocolate cart and I was literally
Oh,
just
that's so
walking
cute.
by and I was like, "Oh, why are like my Bravo friends on this truck?" And then this producer that I met, her name was Jordan, and she was like, "Oh, we're doing a meet and greet. Do you want to join? I work on the show." She was getting calls from Ramona like in real time when I was talking to her, so I was like, "Oh, you're legit." And so
Wow.
she was the one, like, she brought all the Bravo celebrities to meet me. So they were a little more like, "Oh, we know Jordan, so we'll talk to you a little bit." But yeah, Kyle full on was like, "See ya." I was like, all right,
I
well.
mean, good. I'm happy to always happy to get more fuel for my hatred of that man.
There you
I'm
go.
so disturbed by him on so many levels. And it's kind of been so validating to see since the trailer came out, like, everyone's on the right side now. Like, it was
Yes.
for a while, it was iffy. Last season, I feel like when I would talk bad about Kyle, I would get a lot of comments. Even, like, I make a lot of videos, like, just talking about how much I hate all of the men in this space. And, like, there was a video, I feel like, about a year ago, and then I did one a few months ago where the kind of same thing happens, where I, like, put Kyle in the same conversation as, like, the Vanderpump Men or the Southern Charm Men, and there's a million women saying, like, he's not like them, like, he's harmless. And I'm like, no, he actually is, like, maybe worse than some of the Vanderpump Men in my mind. Like, I don't know. I
think we get a different view of the Summer House people because, like, they're there for a weekend and they're meant to, like, party and go out and crazy, and so you think they clock in and clock out of that, and they should. Like, I want them to go out and be the most insane people on the weekend. But Kyle never stops and, like, never clocks out of it.
Yeah, I have a really hard time with him. And I'm so excited to eviscerate him all season long. All 2 seasons long.
2 seasons.
Yes. I have this theory that they won't speak about it because if there is a chance that they're having any marital problems, it will be in the city. It'll like carry over. And so they have 2 seasons worth of needing you to watch and like wanting you to be a part of it. So they are going to keep mums the word so much if anything is happening. And if it's not, they love all of this discourse and that'll get you to watch too.
Yeah, no, that's true. It was funny at BravoCon, like, it was all anybody was talking about, and everyone had like a sighting of being like, I saw Amanda and she wasn't with Kyle, or like, I saw Amanda and she looked really sad, and I was like, okay, like, this is
a long weekend, so like she's gonna be sad whether it's like about Kyle or not.
Yeah, I'm like, I was sad too, and I'm not getting a divorce. Like, it's okay.
That's so real. Yeah. Well, this has been lovely, Josh. Thank you so much for joining us. And for everybody listening, don't forget to follow him at Josh the Roni Stan on Instagram and TikTok. And also for kind of behind the scenes of his life, Josh's inner monologue on TikTok as well.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, very excited about the new personal account. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. This is great.
Thanks for joining. Bye.